Hello, this is David from Shepherd's Loft. We're waiting on Michelle to join us in just a few minutes.
Quite interested in a block of Parmigiana.
Okay, where's the link? Hello, I'm waiting for Michelle to join us. We're going to have our third video of the series on marketing. So if you can hang around just for a few minutes, then when Michelle joins us, we'll get started with that. Shepherd's Loft has been around for about 25 years now. We started with just web design. We've done a lot of different things. We focused on WordPress hosting for a while, moved into being an agency as we've built our team. Got a lot of experts on board with us. Michelle Kiefer is one of those experts. We're waiting for her to join with us. We're doing the third part in a series on marketing. You can check out the channel. We've also done like ad management and also uh, ad management and one other campaign. Today we're going to be doing referral campaigns. We're going to be talking about that as soon as she can get on. All right. With assured. Hello. Good afternoon. It's Friday afternoon. We're up in North Georgia. I'm in LJ. Again, we're waiting on Michelle to join us. We're doing the third part of the series for marketing. And we've done ad management and reputation management. Today, we're doing the third one, which is the referral campaigns. Incredibly effective and also relatively easy. Uh, Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no worries.
All right.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday afternoon. Everyone, Michelle has just joined us and she's out in Texas. So this is kind of why we had a long delay. We're just trying
No
to get
Santo.
coordinated on different time zones and being late on Friday. And everybody's ready to bolt out, I think. So we
Well, my 11-year-old had my phone, so I didn't know we were starting yet, so I had to, like, strangle it out of her hands.
we could have asked her some questions.
Yeah, she would have hopped on here and been like, "I'm famous. I'm on YouTube."
Yeah, yeah. So my name is David Grubb. I'm with Shepherd's Loft. We are a web design agency, and we're here today to talk to Michelle. We're doing our third part of a three-part series. This is the last part of a three-part series. We've talked about ad management and um, reputation management. And today we're talking about referral campaigns, and how they can be incredibly effective and relatively easy to do. So that's our subject today. So before we get started, Michelle, I mean, how do you feel about our topic today?
I love talking about referrals. Um, the thing about advertising and marketing, it cycles and it cycles and it cycles through all of the trends and all of the fads, but ultimately, word of mouth is always, always your most reliable and your strongest source of new business. And it just has so many good things that help in the long term growth and sustainability of your pipeline, but also in nurturing your existing clients. So I'm really excited to talk about it because people overlook it, and it's truly one of the most straightforward ways that you can strengthen your pipeline. So I'm excited to talk about it.
All right, well, good. Well, let's just dive on in. I mean, our first topic is leveraging existing relationships, sometimes it takes so long to like meet the right people. I mean, it really is about who you know, right? And if you put
Mhm.
in all this effort to know the right people, then why wouldn't you ask those people? Why wouldn't you leverage your relationships to get referrals?
Yeah, absolutely. So we always start whenever we think about who we're asking referrals from, you always start with your existing customer base and who are your happy customers. But to your point, like we all are investing a lot in our professional network, whether that's keeping in touch with somebody at an old job or someone that you met at a business breakfast or at a conference. Wherever you're making those connections for your business and professional network, you want to leverage them. It's great to meet people for the sake of meeting people, but ultimately, when it comes to business networking, you want to leverage those relationships. And it's absolutely true. It's a lot of effort to build those relationships. So we want to make sure that we get the most out of them and not to be afraid to ask for people for referrals. You might think, oh, well, they're outside of my industry, or I haven't talked to them in so long. I can't just reach out and I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can. You can. You can reach out to them even if you haven't talked to them in a couple of years. Maybe you only met them once at a conference. The way you ask them for a referral might change based on some of those factors, but whether or not you can ask for a referral doesn't change.
Right. So just how easy, comparatively speaking to all the other marketing campaigns, just how easy is it, and how much of an impact does it make compared to those other marketing campaigns?
Well, how easy it is really depends on how organized you are as a professional at maintaining your contacts. Um, I worked with companies and they've got 2,000 customers, but they don't have a single customer email. Or they go to networking event after networking event and they've got a stack of business cards in the corner of their desk, but they're not built into a software or even a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And so really it ultimately comes down to that maintenance of your contact list. The better you do at keeping up with your contacts and knowing who they are, where you met them, what their role is, that's what's going to, if you've got that, then you're already 70% there, turning on a referral campaign. So that definitely is the biggest differentiator for people as to whether or not this is something they can very easily do or if they have to do a little bit of data cleanup.
Yeah.
But then as far as the effectiveness of it, again, we find that again, word of mouth, those referral campaigns, they truly are some of the strongest ways that you can build a pipeline, because people want to do business with people who are recommended. So reviews, we talked about that in another video. Reviews are like your digital present of an ongoing referral, essentially. Those people who have given you a good review are essentially giving you a positive referral. That's different than saying, hey, David, I want you to meet my friend Sandy. She does this service, and you mentioned having that problem, and I really think you should give her a call. That's totally that's way, way stronger than David going and reading Sandy's 5-star reviews. So that's why you want to make sure that you're including referral campaigns in addition to what you're doing with reviews.
Right. So, I mean, you mentioned that it was effective. So, I mean, how it's cost wise, is it more or less effective than other campaigns?
From a cost perspective, it's great, because it's really elbow grease and again the effort that you're putting into it. There's lots of different strategies that might add a cost to your referral campaign. So, for example, if you have a list of 2,000 customers that are happy with you, and you say, "Hey, we're going to give a $10 Starbucks gift card for every referral you send." Like there are ways that you can associate a cost with it, but the good thing is that you're in total control of this cost.
Yeah.
Any other type of marketing campaign you do, if you're doing advertising, or you're paying an influencer or you're partnering with somebody for something else, those costs are usually outside of your control. Whoever it is that you're working with is often going to drive the amount of money that you're going to need to invest into working with them to launch those campaigns. But in a referral campaign, you hold all the cards. If you've got budget to spend and you want to invest in that, there's lots of good ways to make sure you're investing that money wisely. But if you don't have any money, you can still turn on a referral campaign, which is really great.
So, what's a way that we can reduce the cost? Can we automate parts of this process to reduce that cost?
Yeah, so automation is going to reduce your cost of your labor, the cost of your time, and everything like that. So that's definitely, getting your time back is valuable, and so you want to automate anytime you can. If you're doing a referral campaign and you're not offering any type of incentive, so you're not offering a drawing for a gift card or whatever that might look like, the way that they're going to be the most effective is through that personal touch. And so that gets so now we're costing you time again because you've got to pick up the phone or you've got to write a personalized email. So the more you can automate on the front side to make that part of the execution efficient for you, then you can control your costs. But if you're not using any automations and your contact list is chaotic or non-existent, you've got to put in the time to get it done. The cost that you're looking at is your time. It's not a financial cost. You're not writing a check to anybody. So it's pretty simple to manage and maintain your cost, but absolutely automation is always a way to get us our time back.
So a referral campaign really could be like the first type of campaign that you put together for your business. I mean,
Oh yeah.
traditionally it's the most successful. It's a low cost. It's an easy way to get started. So let's talk about compared to other campaigns. What is the authenticity of a referral campaign? How does
Yeah.
it
So
compare?
yeah. So um again, it goes back to that personal word of mouth recommendation that comes from, and that's what drives the authenticity. You can't find a more authentic way to grow your business than having someone that you know and you trust uh, reaching out on your behalf and letting somebody else know that they might enjoy working with you or that you might be a good fit for them. It just doesn't get more authentic than that. You can, if you're compare that to like a social media ad, right? You can go into Facebook and say, "Hey, Facebook, I want to talk to this type of person that lives in this area. They have these interests, and I want to personalize it if they visited this page in the last 3 months." Like, there's so many personalization things that you can do when you're configuring those types of campaigns, but in reality, the actual experience of somebody seeing that ad, even if they feel like it resonates really well with them and they feel it, and you've done a wonderful job at personalizing it, and they feel like that ad is reaching out to them, it's still an ad, not a person. And so so even the most authentic, well automated, well configured campaigns that are hyper personal will still lack the authenticity that a referral campaign would have because it's coming from a human being through an interpersonal channel like text, email, call, and things like that.
Right. So I mean, if you're providing a good service and the customer is satisfied, then there's this natural instinct to want to share that good experience with others. So let's talk about the success for local businesses. Uh, what is the trust and credibility? How does that play a part in a referral program?
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned a minute ago that a referral campaign is a really a very approachable campaign. It might be even the first campaign that you run. If you're a new business, for example, and you say you're just opening up, you're a small local business, you don't really have a lot of resources, you've just put everything you have into getting your business up and going. And you also don't have any customers to ask for referrals. And so, what do you do in that situation? That's when you would go to friends, family, people who, and previous business acquaintances, folks that have worked with you in the past, and they may not be able to refer based off of your specific product or service, but they can refer you as a business owner as being a good person. And that's the trust at those types of referral campaigns is that I'm referring this human being who I know is is a quality person. They're going to take care of you. And so that level of trust is just, again, it's unmatched in any of the other types of campaigns that we're going to do throughout your marketing funnel, just because of that human side interaction and that trust that's just innately present in these types of recommendations.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really glad that you brought that up because it goes beyond just your customers and when you're starting. I mean, it goes back to, who knows you and having, and adding a layer to that if you've got a mentor, somebody that can be an ambassador for you. And then
Mhm.
as you grow your your base of people that you know. There's super users, right? So fans. So you're accumulating that leader that follow with you. So
And
how
once you
does
get and just to build on that too real quick, so and once you get to that point where you have those fans and you have those super leaders, a common market and a modern marketing trend word is like user generated content, affiliate marketing, influencer marketing. Essentially what you would do is take those people who are happy to recommend you and to refer you, and you build systems and programs where they can do it at scale out on their own through writing blogs about you or creating social media posts about you and tagging you back. And so, while it may start off as like, "Hey, David, I need you to pick up the phone and call Pam and let her know that you want to refer me to her," but then it's another thing for you to post on Facebook and tag, "Hey, Pam, have you met Michelle?" Right. So there's all different kinds of ways that you can do it, and that's another really great thing about referral campaigns is while they're straightforward, there's so much space for creativity and imagination to get something tailored to the type of service you're offering or the type of product that you're selling, whom you want to purchase those products and services, and then tailor it from there.
right? You know, I think about, and hopefully I can get away with this. I think about Zig Ziglar's quote. I believe he said that you spend money on leads, but you invest in prospects. So how does what does the conversion rate look like for a referral campaign versus an ad campaign?
I love that quote by Zig Ziglar. I agree with that very much. Like, spending in marketing versus investing in marketing is like I know this is the end of a three-part series, but my goodness, we could kick off a whole nother one on those types of mindsets and perspectives with what you're building. Um, but yeah, I don't have numbers directly in front of me. They vary a lot based on industry and category and things like that. But we do see consistently that those leads coming in through a referral channel will convert at a much higher level, because not only when you buy a lead, you're bringing something and putting it at the very tippy top of your funnel. You still have to nurture them, you have to educate them, you have to build value, and you have to do all of these things to move them down the funnel to the point where they're ready to get to convert into a conversation, to a demo for your software, or something that's really much closer to the sale. When you get a referral, it's entering into your pipeline already in the bottom half of your funnel. So the cost of nurturing from your top of funnel into the middle of funnel or the bottom of funnel, there's costs associated with that. The higher up in the funnel it is, the more expensive it is to move down to a sale. And that's just because of time and because of, channel and distraction and so many different variables. So when you're getting referrals, you're bringing in your leads, you're cutting out half of that just by the nature of what type of lead it is and where it lands into your funnel. And so, depending on the cost of what you're spending on advertising or brand development, all of those types of things just automatically get skipped over with the referral because they've already been educated by the person who referred them to you. They've already been given your value proposition by the person who's referring them to you. So that person plays such a huge part of moving them through your funnel before they even enter your funnel.
Right. So it's more cost effective. So what does that mean for the longevity of the customer? Can we expect them to have a higher value in the long term?
Well, you still, it always your churn and how well people stay with you, that's going to come down to like what it doesn't matter how you got a lead, whether it came from a referral or it came from a Facebook ad campaign or it came from a partner drip or whatever it might be. Reducing the churn, that we're going to calculate that separately because that's more reflective of the way you're operating your service and your product. But what you can say is that the lifetime value of the person who gave you the referral increases because now they're not responsible for just the revenue they gave you when they purchased your product or service. They're also responsible for the revenue of the additional people that they're referring to you. And so the people who are your referring to you, their lifetime value goes way up. Um, which is a great way to again balance out all of your books and understanding what your cost of acquisition is and the cost of maintaining customers.
So it's almost like you're getting pre-qualified leads when you're getting a referral. There's already a kind of relationship set up there, and I live in a very local community. I'm here in Ellijay, Georgia. I'm really kind of connected into a lot of North Georgia with several of the towns around. It's kind of interesting. It's a small town, but it's also kind of a network of
It's
small
like a
towns.
community village.
Yeah, and one of the things that I have heard the most is from customers is that they say, I love the fact that you're local, and that has a huge impact. And then you couple that with this idea of a referral campaign. I mean, it kind of, it multiplies. It
Start to
has
build
even
layers
more
of
value.
trust.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, as many layers of you can of trust that you can align your values with the values of your customers, outside of what the product and that again that goes back to the quality of having a referral, like that innate trust that comes into it, because it's not always just about your product and your service or your price point. So the more layers of trust that you can build in before we get to that point, um, you're setting yourself up for a higher chance of success.
Okay, well, I'm out of questions for today. And I feel like you really brought a lot to this campaign and this little mini series on marketing. Again, we've covered ad management, reputation management, and our referral campaigns. And we didn't really plan it that way, but I kind of feel like we saved the best for last in this
Huh.
three-part series. And I just want to thank you so much for being online with me today and going through this little mini series. And
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so,
referrals are definitely. I always think when I'm planning marketing strategies, a metaphor that I like to use is the strength of a triangle. Right? We see this in nature. We see this in architecture. The triangle is a very strong shape. It has a wide base and it holds everything towards it. Your referral is the top. So your reputation management, your ad management, you can create a great baseline for yourself. But what's really going to accelerate you to the top is that referral campaign. So it definitely, it's a good hit to have all three of them operating together. Reputation and reviews, like I mentioned, plays a big hand in referrals and the success of your referrals. David, we can go back to the example I used earlier. You tell Pam to call me and she goes and looks me up and I don't have any reviews, she may or may not call me. But if you tell her to call me and then she goes and looks at my reviews and sees that I have great reviews, that increases the chance. Now she's been on my website and looked at my stuff, and now I've got retargeting ads for her. And now she's seeing my ads, and I'm further showing her my value, and it's following her around on her online experience. You see what I mean? It just layers and layers and layers. And so you don't have to do a whole lot of things if the few things that you do are coordinated and they play into each other and help lift each other up. So that's what all roads point to a possibility for a strong referral campaign. So it was definitely a good topic to land on as we wrapped up the series.
all right. Thank you again, Michelle. Everybody have a happy Friday afternoon, and you can reach out to us here on the YouTube. You can leave a comment there if you have
Yeah, thanks
questions,
for listening, guys.
and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.